It's been, I think the last time I had attended a Pima County Real Estate Research meeting was in the late 90s at the insistence of my boss, Tim Prouty. I was his research director at Grubb & Ellis a long, long, long time ago. And it's nice to see a lot of familiar faces here. I'm going to start with the good news on the home building market is our closing volumes are starting to come back to what we would expect a little bit. We've seen a 25% increase through the year-to-date numbers, end of October. We're at 1,540 closings year-to-date, and that is up 25% from the 2012 number. And our monthly velocity is increasing. So like the monthly average for the last 12 months had been about 150, and then for the last 6 months, our closings have gone up to about 165, 170 a month. So we're seeing good improvements in closing volumes. They're starting to catch up with our improved permit volumes from 2012. Also good news is this pricing stabilization is finally occurring. We're seeing the foreclosures are dropping. Last few months we've seen foreclosures fall to about 19 to 20%, which is big. Falling below 20% was a big number of the total resale volume. And that has allowed some pricing stabilization to occur in both the new and resale market. New home median price is around $237, $240. We're seeing it hover there and stay there. And average right around $260 is about where we could. And those are sustainable, good numbers. That's kind of where we want to be. On the not so good news, which you're not going to like the permitting numbers as well, we're up about 10% year over year on permitting. So our permitting year to date is at 1935, and we've seen a huge slowdown in the last few months in permitting volumes. We dropped, 2 months ago, we dropped to 126, and only about 90 of those were actually in production subdivisions, single family production subdivisions. Last month we had almost 200 permits, but only 112 of those were in production single family subdivisions. So whereas we typically think that we're permitting 200 units in our production line, I think a lot of people have that in their head that we're permitting 200 units a month in the production subdivisions. We're not. We're permitting closer to 120 units average, monthly average in the single family production units. Active adult has done extremely well this year comparatively to the single family, particularly in the last 6 months. So that's not such good news. The pace, there's lots of volatility month over month, so we try and look at year-to-year comparisons. That's been the characterization of this recovery. Month to month is just all over the board, up and down and up and down. Lots of volatility in the market. We're going to see a continued dampening effect from what's going on at a national level, whether it's the potential tapering from the Fed of the QE3 monetary policy, those changes, how they will affect interest rates. And there's overall just a dampening on consumer confidence. So whereas we'd like to see an escalation in permit volume, we're not going to see it. It's still going to be sluggish. Growth is going to be slow. But overall, it's going to be an upward trend. It's just not steeply upward, which may, in the long run, benefit us in terms of stabilizing our market and giving us a more stable housing market. In terms of open subdivisions, we've got 76 open selling subdivisions right now, and within those, there's 4,000 platted lots in the active phases of those 76 subdivisions. Of those 4,000 lots, about 1,300 are active adult, and then another 700 are in Palte's two big master plans, Red Rock and Sierra Morado. So call it 2,000 platted lots in active selling subdivisions. From where I see it, I added up, there's about 1,200 lots that are coming online in the next 6 months that are ready to go. They're platted, they're just trying to get them finished, and they're ready to open with major home builders probably within the next 6 months. So 1,200 lots being delivered, 2,000. We've got, call it 3,500 lots in inventory, platted, ready to go in the next 6 months. So that's what we expect to see with the housing market. Kind of continued slow, not what we'd like, not as quickly as we'd like, but maybe that's better in the long run. Real briefly, since there was no multifamily speaker today, I just want to do a quick multifamily update as well. There's been 1,350 permits issued or units permitted, I should say, in the multifamily market this year. About 40% of that are the two big projects in Oro Valley and San Dorado, which just got underway, and the HSL project at Steampunk. Those two projects are both very large, traditional style, luxury to high-end apartment complexes. 30% of that is student housing, which is nice, kind of nice to see that balance change a little bit based on the last few years. And another quarter of that is the casita and townhouse style, like Erie projects and the Miramonte project there on the river. Those types of projects, about a quarter of that. So that's where we're at in multifamily, and